guess I need to do that first. There we go.
Good job.
All right. Are you able to share now, Peter?
In a minute. Yes.
There you go. All right.
Looking good, Peter.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm here because Peter called and reminded me, and then Malika called and said, Sally, are you coming to the conference? So absolutely, I'm going to be here. So we don't know whether Dave's going to be here or not, but the fabulous Terry Wells is going to be prepared to run the PowerPoint and do the polls and do all the good stuff. So we need to back her up in a good way, Peter.
Okay.
All right.
Terry,
Can you
are
all see my
with
screen?
David? Terry, are you with David?
I am.
Okay.
Great.
But Peter, do me a favor if you feel comfortable. Right click on your name and put after your name, put TFN.
Yeah, I got to change the spelling. Uh-oh, what I do?
You didn't do anything. You're fine. She's just going through the slide deck.
I got to change the spelling. How do I do that on the 3 dots? Oh,
Yeah.
rename. There it is.
Exactly. Good job. Such a pro. Success 20. Happy New
Oh,
Year.
yeah, I'm such a pro at all of this.
All right. And I see we have a few people joining us. Good morning.
Excellent. Excellent.
Excellent. This day after Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day holiday yesterday.
And it's official. President Biden actually did a declaration to officially, it's the first time in presidential history it was named Indigenous People Day. Which
Yes.
Native American, I'm pretty excited about that, as is Boyd.
Yeah. I actually learned that I have part Sioux, part Cherokee. So, woo!
Indigenous, one of the Indigenous team. Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
welcome, welcome. Hi, Susan, Ms. Johnson, welcome, welcome. Come on in.
Hey, Susan.
Ah, Susan Johnson Gore on my husband's computer. Oh, good.
Okay.
Thank you, husband, for letting you use the computer. It's all good.
Very
More people here.
Yeah, we have what's that, 49 or 50 people. Good morning.
good morning, everyone.
Everybody put good morning and what city you're from. That'd be fun. Good morning from Park City, Utah. I'm going to put from Park
Sally,
City.
that's out near you, isn't it? You're in Utah?
Yep, I'm in Utah and it snowed this morning. We have what, about 3 inches of snow covering the ground on this. Hello, New Jersey.
Congratulations.
Hello, Texas. Hello, New
Sweet.
Jersey. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Amber. Welcome, welcome, Glenn. So happy you're here. Radiah, New Jersey. Miss Allison. Yep, I love San Antonio. Miss Tamara, Michigan. Yay, Grand Haven,
Yay.
Michigan. We have Knoxville. Wonderful friends in Knoxville.
Not too far from me here in Atlanta.
Right on. Miss Amy from Indianapolis. Miss Jennifer from Jamestown. Josie, Indianapolis. Nicole from Missouri, the Show Me State. Gotta love Missouri.
Woohoo.
Cadillac, Michigan. Never been there. We have Redondo Beach. Wow, someone's up pretty early. Mark.
Thank you for joining us that early.
Welcome. We have Wisconsin. I've been to Lake Geneva. Love Wisconsin. Cincinnati. Standing Rock. Hi, Eric. Welcome, welcome. Miss Michelle from DC. Near you, Miss Terry.
Woohoo.
We have
Well,
Don
I
Lee.
am actually in Atlanta, believe it or
Oh.
not.
I stand corrected there. We have Dante, Holly from Gulf Shores. I know it's 9 o'clock and you're gonna want to get started. Marcus. Yeah, keep coming on in.
Love it. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, I'm not Dave Lowe. Dave is on vacation. I am Terry Wells. I am over content for ISI Federal. And thank you all so much for joining us. Dave Lowe is our CEO of ISI Federal, and he is a data marketing and business expert. Where is Dave? Guess what? He is at the southernmost point of the United States. Down, and can we guess it, Sally?
Yes,
Peter?
we can. We are so jealous. Florida, Florida, Margaritaville, as I'm freezing here in the snow. Welcome, Greg Clark's in the house.
Welcome,
Good.
Greg. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
And hopefully Dave will send us some warm weather. It's been raining here in Atlanta, so hopefully he'll send some sunshine back our way. And Sally, he'll help the snow melt out there in Utah.
Yes.
Terry, can you enable my video?
Yeah.
And while Terry's enabling the video, I'm going to put in the chat my name and contact information if you want to do that. Then what happens on this call is we all help one another. And so feel free to put your name. And in my case, I put my LinkedIn and my website. And then I also put my Calendly, because often on this call, people will share something that's really intriguing and interesting and we'll want to schedule a call. Good job, Matthew Lee, for jumping in there and doing that.
Great.
And if you have questions, use the Q&A tab. Use the chat just for posting your contact information about your company, and then questions in the Q&A. We had an issue last month where the questions got interspersed with the contact information, and we missed about half the questions.
Right.
Good reminder. Terry, sorry to interrupt there. Please
No
continue.
problem. And thank you. And again, if you have any questions, Sally and Greg will be helping me monitor those. So if you have any questions, please drop them in there, and then we will answer those questions as quickly as possible. So a little bit about ISI Federal. We have been around since 2009 helping companies. We have over $500 million in direct and indirect sales. You know, we, in terms of the federal market intelligence, you know, we help companies with that federal marketing support. Many of you probably found us because of our govbrief.us website, or you may have attended one of our other briefings. We also have a couple of tools that we use, and Greg and Sally and Peter, I know that you all are very familiar with this, SAM.bid and QuickViews. Two of our big products as well that help businesses get in front of those buyers.
Let me just add to Terry's comment. These tools are just by the sheer numbers of individuals they reach. And Terry will talk a little bit about that with program managers and contacts, et cetera. It really moves your business and moves the trajectory of you connecting with the right people for the right contract opportunities. So very helpful tools. Thank you, Terry.
Very, very helpful. And, you know, I know a few months ago, Dave was talking about beta.sam.bid. Well, guess what? It's actually live now.
Yay.
So we're super excited that SAM.bid is live. And so again, you know, and just kind of reiterate about our tools. And we know that Zachary, I think, is also online today. SAM.gov in and of itself is hugely confusing. I know that, you know, I put my baby toe in the foot, you know, in the federal space prior to working with ISI Federal, and it's crazy confusing. And what the ISI Federal team has created with SAM.bid makes it so much easier, you know, to understand those proposals that are being sent out and how to respond and all of that. So kudos to Dave and his team for SAM.bid. We are so thankful for that. And then I also mentioned quickviews.com. That's quick with a K, not your traditional quick, but if you are a GSA contract holder, then this is your eBuy notification that helps you know quick, act fast, and win more. And Zachary, I believe, will talk a little bit about that later on. And if you test drive our quick views for 30 days, if you're on this call, definitely reach out to us to test drive it for 30 days. You know, if you stick with us for a year with quick views, and as Dave always says, if you don't see 500% more, then he will refund your money, and let him know that I said that.
And I have to tell you, I'm super impressed. I've been collaborating with the ISI team since the beginning of COVID, and they are all about helping customers add value. And I've seen them more often than once let a customer know, wow, this isn't our sweet spot, or try here. They're all about adding value as opposed to like just, you know, getting you to sign up. So yeah, go ahead.
It is definitely added value. And I'm not sure if our partner Rafael Marrero is on today, but Rafael specializes in those socio-economic certifications, the 8A and the small business financing. So if you have a need to partner with him, definitely reach out to us or reach out to Rafael directly. And just a heads up, we will be emailing a copy of this presentation to everyone here on the call today. And that way you'll have everyone's direct contact information. And then Sean May, we are not attorneys, but guess what? Sean May and his team, they help you with all of the federal compliance, security clearance, the bid protests, and the contract and subcontract reviews. Mr. Clark,
Yes,
would you like
ma'am.
to introduce yourself?
I would indeed. Excuse me. We at DKA, we three of us formed the company in '95, and people who attend this every month can probably recite this verbatim. Three of us formed the company in '95. There's 6 of us now. When we formed the company, it was to help contractors put their proposals together for government contracts, help you identify opportunities, evaluate them against your experience and capabilities, and when it's a good fit, help you put your proposal together. And in that capacity, we are now at 390 government contracts we've helped our clients win. And this summer, the combined value of those wins surpassed $2 billion.
Wow.
Around '07, we also started helping companies get on the GSA schedule, and that became a second focus of our company. And now we've helped, we're at 423 companies, I believe it is, that we've helped get on the GSA schedule. So those are the 2 main focuses of what we do, helping companies with proposals for government contracts and helping companies with the GSA schedule. And everything else we do is in support of those 2 areas.
Greg, so
Wow.
you have a question from Herschel. Does DKA do pricing proposals?
Herschel, it depends on the industry. So some industries we understand pricing very well. Other industries, we don't know what you should be charging for your work. Typically, if it's professional services, then you're going to have rates, as opposed to the wage determination or Davis-Bacon labor, where the rates are predetermined by the government. But you can you see my email and phone number. You can just reach out if you have questions, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Thanks, Herschel.
Thanks, Greg. We have one of our other partners. She is a social media maven. Liz DeRosa is not on the call, I don't think. However, if you have a need, for someone to help you with social media for your business and helping to gain the, to get in front of that federal space, definitely reach out to Liz. Miss Sally, our
Hello.
Uber connector.
Hi. I put my information in the chat. So happy to be here. So what my role is and how I collaborate with ISI is I really help you get your digital footprint so that it's aligned and beautiful and communicates everything that you do in your company. So that when someone actually clicks on your LinkedIn, you have a beautiful picture, you have a well-written description of yourself, your LinkedIn clicks to your website. And then speaking of your website, you want to make sure your website is optimized, SEO optimized. So if someone does do a search, that you come up in rankings. And then finally, I'm a connector. So I know a lot of the executives in DOE, DOD, other organizations. I spend a lot of time on conferences, and so I can engage with you that way. And I put my name in the chat. I'll put my information in the chat again towards the end. So I'd love to talk with you, and any friend of ISI is a friend of mine. So happy to do a 15-minute complimentary discussion to sort of get the vibe of your business and how we may be able to be of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally.
And I can attest to Sally's value. She's added a lot of value to my company over the last 6 months as far as the digital footprint. So thank you very much, Sally.
And Peter, what do you do?
Well, we've been lending to government contractors since 1991. So we've got 30 years of being a trusted financial resource to companies. We're a little bit unique in that we will lend to your opportunity. We get your financial statements just to get a picture of the company, but we will lend to the opportunity. So if you got a situation where you're going to need $100,000 line of credit, $500,000 line of credit, a $5 million line of credit, we'll be there to support you. If we think you can handle the business and you can acquire the business, the sky is the limit with us, because we're going to always lend to that opportunity. And we've got a great reputation. We're nationwide. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have about 300 companies on a national basis, and we have an excellent reputation. The other thing that we can help a lot of companies with is providing you with a financial support letter. So in the bidding process, if the government comes back and says, we're going to need some type of verification that should we award you the contract, that you have the financial resources to perform, we will provide you that letter free of charge. We don't have any upfront costs for any of our services. The only time we make money is if we lend money to you. That's where we make our money. So we're a great firm, willing to help anybody grow their business.
And I put Peter's information in the chat. He's very excited. We're going to go live today with a new website. But in the meantime, you can connect with Peter on LinkedIn and schedule a call with him on Calendly. And just a shout out to Peter. Peter was actually invited to speak at the Redstone Arsenal in Arkansas, the Small Business Minority Conference. So Peter's going to be there. If any of you are going to be there, we'd love to connect. So thanks, Peter.
Nice. Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you.
And good to see that you're based here in Atlanta with me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a strong Georgian accent you got there, Peter.
Yeah.
So a little bit about this session. You know, this session is always free. It happens every second Tuesday at 11 a.m. and every second Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. And I assure you next month, Dave will be here for this session. But as you see so far, this is an opportunity to hear directly from the federal sales experts. You know, it's no silver bullets. They tell you exactly how things work, and they can help you with those go-to-market strategies that will help you win. And again, you know, these are our partners. These are our friends. We value their friendships, and we could not do what we do without them. So thank you to you all. So a little bit more, what are you after in this new fiscal year? You know, are you after new opportunities? Are you trying to reach federal stakeholders? You know, this is your, you know, we're 12 days into the new fiscal year. And so with the Selling to the Government briefing, you know, this is your opportunity to get your game plan in. On how to be successful for 2022. So a little disclaimer, Dave would probably slap my hand if I didn't say this. So this event is not affiliated with or endorsed by GSA or any other federal agency, and this is provided to you all for informational purposes only. So, you know, this is our opportunity to chat and to be real. And so, and no one here, you know, has any obligation or commitment to purchase with any of our partners. And if you, as Dave always says, if you haven't been on a Zoom call, participation is easy. You all are doing a fabulous job with the chat and with the Q&As and raising hands. So if you have any questions, again, we have our partners on the line who are able to help me facilitate the chat and the Q&As as well. And then the briefing controls, I believe in the upper, depending on how your screen is set up, in the upper right-hand corner, then you can change your viewing of everyone on the call. So after the call, I'm not sure if Zachary is on. If you don't receive them in the chat, after the call, you again will receive a copy of this video. In addition to the video, you'll receive the PowerPoint. You'll receive what Dave calls our winnable opportunity matrix. Our ISI federal capabilities, as well as the VA procurement readiness. Hopefully all of the small business owners here has a capability statement. Is that right, Sally?
Absolutely. Capability statement. Just speaking to all 225 attendees today. Yay, a lot of people in the house. Capability statement is crucial on so many levels, and it's important you put it on your website. It's important. That's how the government and individuals who are contracting understand your NACE codes, your product codes, et cetera. So capability statements are crucial. And if you need assistance in creating a capability statement, Rafael Moraro and his team can assist you with that. And so, yeah, very important to have a beautiful statement that needs to have all the important information.
It's basically your business card, but an expansion of your business card that you're handing out to people so they understand everything about you.
Great. And then I am going to attempt to do a poll here.
I'm here with you, Terry. We know you can do it.
All right, let's see if we can launch this baby. Why are you here today? We don't know. So if you could put it in the chat.
No problem.
Yeah, if you could put in, oops. If you could put in the chat.
There you go. You did it. I'm here. Because
Oh, yay. Okay.
Good job.
All right. And you all can still see the presentation. So technology works. And it looks like, say that again, Sally.
Oh, I was just going to read the questions, but go ahead. You can do that.
Yeah, so you're here today because I am new to federal contracting. I have federal contracts as a subcontractor, want to be a prime. I have federal prime contracts and want to grow. And some nut sent me an email telling me I needed to join. And what's amazing is right now it looks like about 48 or 50% of everyone on this call is new to federal contracting. So you're definitely in the right place.
Excellent.
Or you're an experienced contractor and looking to expand on that. That's also, you're in the right place.
Right.
And speaking of that nut who sent you an email, the 12 of you, coincidentally, he's a nut because I can just picture him in Key West now drinking out of a coconut.
Oh, that's funny. And it looks like Sean May's in the house as well. So hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Sorry
Hey,
about that.
Sean.
Not a problem. Would you like to take a moment and introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. My name is Sean May. I work for the Federal Practice Group. We are a law firm. I know everyone's going to cringe at that, but what our specialty is government contracting. So we can assist people with whether they should do bid protests, joint ventures, teaming agreements, anything like that. I will put my contact information in here at the end of it. If anybody wants to contact me because of coming in through Dave Lowe and Terry Wells and the webinar, we will certainly take care of you.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So moving on, as you know, the fiscal 2021 year ended on September 30th at Hawaii time. Is that right, Greg?
Midnight Hawaii time, so 6 a.m. Eastern time.
6 a.m. And the 2021 budget was a whopping $1.4 trillion budget. Well, guess what the new fiscal budget is for this year? $3.5 trillion.
Wow.
Wow. And doing a little research, that budget, it's in 5 major areas. It's in infrastructure, cybersecurity, modernization, environmental, and technology. And guess what? We're in Q1 and all of that money, all 3.5 trillion has to be sent by what date, Sally?
Has to be spent by 9/30/2022.
There you go. So if you want to win a piece of this pot, guess what? You have to start now. And that's what we're here to talk about today. What is your strategy for disruption for this fiscal year? Sally, would you like to share a success story and recommendations, a success story for 2021 and your recommendations to our 200 plus participants today?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I did during COVID, prior to COVID, I would go to a lot of conferences. People hire me to go to conferences. I do pre-conference setups, et cetera, connect with individuals. And during COVID, we had to pivot. And that's part of working together with this team. And this team allowed us to pivot because we still had these calls every Monday. We had ideas. We had the calls on Tuesday. And what Terry will get to is how the Gov Brief and how ISI helps you. So we had an individual who wanted to start working and do business with the Navy. And so what we did is we started going to conferences, which I still do virtually. And I met an individual by the name of Hondo. So he's the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Hondo Gertz. And I basically heard him speak. I sent out a LinkedIn and I said, Hondo, I really enjoyed your presentation, would love to connect. He and I started connecting. I needed to connect someone with someone in the Navy who was able to do some work management processes. And he connected me to that correct person. We basically were able to connect with Newport News. And there are several stories like that. And again, it's all because of the information I learned with this organization and ability to connect, et cetera. So that's, I can't stress enough how successful it is to be, or how much success you can experience by being on these calls and connecting with people and also getting your digital footprint out there. And I know Greg has a couple of stories as well, or one or two.
Or three.
Well, and
Peter
hoping we
too.
and hoping that on the spot I can remember one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Well, one that I've told before that happened 2 years ago and then again this year. So there's a company that we work with that we'd been working with a company since our first client from 95 and working with them 26 years. And they started a second company. The guy got married and his wife was former military and she was service disabled. So they started an SDVO and wanted to bid on contracts. And we knew the risk, they have no past performance, they have no revenue. So we decided we were going to bid on the industry that we as a team, us and our client, had done very well, which was the shelf stocking industry, operating commissaries at military bases around the country. And with our first client, the client we've been working with for 26 years, we'd won about 25 contracts. Almost all of them were 5-year contracts with the Defense Commissary Agency operating commissaries around the country, basically grocery stores on military bases. And so they started this new SDVO and we started pursuing it knowing that, hey, we don't have any past performance. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we did pursue some, and on our 5th effort, we won a 5-year contract, 5-year, $4 million contract for a company that had 0 past performance and 0 revenue. Parlayed that this year into a $3 million a year contract at one of the largest bases in the country.
Wow. And I'm sure there are a lot of people on this call that have a lot of questions about how do they get their foot in the door with 0 performance?
Well, that's the industry that you can, because the DECA past performance, they don't require you to have there's no minimum mandatory requirements. They just want to know what you've done and that you've made your customer happy. And if there's no past performance, then they don't hold it against you, but you better make it up in the other scored sections of your proposal. And those other scored sections are, you're not going to show them that you know how to do it because you have past performance to do it. You're going to show them in your proposal that they're going to give you performance or estimates, as far as the size of the area to be cleaned, the number of cases to be stocked, and you have to then come out with productivity numbers for each of those different areas, and that shows them that you understand the work to be done. So that's where we came in, and we were able to do manning charts and staff it out and set the productivity rates that were exactly what the government was looking for, and also come in at an overall price that was competitive, if not the lowest. And that's how we moved them into that industry and on 2 contracts now.
Great. That's great. And Peter, not to put you on the spot, but Peter told me an amazing story of a gentleman who it culminated in the gentleman offering his private company plane based on his gratitude for Peter helping him grow his company. And Peter, I don't know if quickly you want to just
yeah, I've been in the business for 30 years. And I've probably got 15 companies that we started financing at an early stage. And those companies have all sold for millions of dollars. And those companies would never have gotten to that point because of our lending to the opportunity. We come into the process once you've identified the opportunities that you want to go after. I'll give you a specific, which happened 4 days ago. I've got a new government contractor. When I say a new government contractor, she's 2 years old. Last year, she had about $600,000 of revenue. She's got a line of credit with a bank for $100,000. Was just moved to $250,000, but she just won 2 HUD contracts, and she's going to have 22 people on both HUD contracts. And they do underwriting on loans for HUD. Well, they have to work for approximately 45 to 60 days before they can invoice for that work. Well, since we lend to the opportunity, we fund those payrolls for the first 45 to 60 days and provide her the money to operate, because she's going to work for 2 months before she even gets the invoice. Without our lending to the opportunity, she wouldn't even be able to operate with her $250 line of credit, because she's going to have close to 500,000 outstanding before she invoices the government. That's the type of work that we can do. We can give you that payroll funding to get you to the point you're going to invoice the government. Without our help, she wouldn't be able to operate on those two contracts.
It's great.
Wow.
Great. Cool.
Wow, those are huge success stories. And Sean, do you have a success story from the fiscal year that just ended, or any recommendations for this year?
I think a couple things. Bid protests are still one of the hottest topics that are out there. There's been a huge surge of interest in them. Another area that we are, I think, very helpful to particularly smaller companies is just reviewing documents, teaming agreements, because as a sub in particular, you know, the prime is never going to always put it into your favor. And so, and particularly smaller companies can have some real damage done to them if they sign something that maybe has just even 2 or 3 red flags in it. I think our most significant thing, though, to talk about was about 2 years ago. A small Northern Virginia company had taken a contract for the Afghanistan government. It was a $7.5 million contract. The firm had spent about $5.5 million doing a lot of the prep work, if you will. And the Afghanistan government shockingly said, "No, we don't want that." Which $5.5 million for a small company could certainly kill a lot of companies. It took us about 16 months, but we were able to make the company whole, get all the money back. So those are some of the areas that we work on. If a contract goes south, we can help do that. We've got a lot of success stories in that area. Like I said, bid protests, just for particularly the new people, the deadlines are really tight on that. Something to keep in mind. If you do think you should protest, you do need to move quickly. And contract review could be one of the more important things that you do moving forward. Once you sign a contract, you better make sure that you know everything that's in there, or it could really impact you down the road.
Okay. And that is a great recommendation. Definitely got to read those contracts.
Right.
And if you don't understand them, definitely reach out to Sean and his team.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Rafa isn't on the call, so we will skip that poll.
We have a couple of raised hands, Terry and Sally.
Yeah, okay.
We have a couple of raised hands. If you want to, I don't know if you can turn them on so you can hear them.
Let's see. Can you see them?
I can just see on the bottom under with participants next to
Okay.
the Q&A, and I'm answering the question.
I got it. Okay. So one person, Justina, says, I have an opportunity to move into a hub zone in VA, not far from Newport News. What are the benefits of being in a hub zone? We've been established here in New Jersey for over 50 years, but I can see the benefit of being there as well.
So the answer is that if your facility, your headquarters is located in a hub zone and at least 35% of your employees live within a hub zone, then you can become hub zone certified and then compete on opportunities that are set aside exclusively for hub zone certified companies. So you're limiting your competition by having that ownership certification. And that's something that is a nice segue because it goes right to, you're about to bring up Raphael. Because he can handle those. RaphaelMorero.com is the website, and they do those types of certifications, and he can much more. He can explain at greater depth what the advantages are and the requirements for eligibility.
Okay.
And then we
Great.
also have a question in the chat. It says, I have an opportunity to, we have that one, and then we have several in the chat. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I'm just gonna...
Sally, do you want to throw one out and then we can go ahead and address that now before we move on?
Sure. No, he just answered the hub zone. I was looking.
There's another question here. Ashley Yanda says, we do GSA work, although we bid everything through general contractors as a sub. Do you have any advice on identifying bidding GCs for upcoming projects. When you say GSA work, Ashley, you're talking about through the schedule or is it just a GSA RFP that's up? And I don't know what you mean by identifying bidding GCs for. Do you mean RFPs that you could become a subcontractor on? Maybe that's something where Terry, would you allow her to? Can you unmute her so we can discuss that? Or should I just have her?
Actually,
Should I just get her to send me an email?
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
205
just ask her
people
to,
on. Yeah, have her send an email.
yeah, she
Yeah.
can send you an email.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect.
George says, who can I contact in hub zones? We are Virginia Beach. Would we qualify? Any contact info? Anyone?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
You can call Greg.
Greg, do you have Michelle Burnett's?
I don't.
Okay. Hey, George, if you want to just put your email in here, and I'll work with Greg and we'll get you Michelle Burnett, who is the executive director of it and is phenomenal to work with. We can get you in with her or Chrissy, who's her assistant, and they can give you some information on that.
Right. And we'll capture the chat at the end. Terry, make sure I capture it before we sign off. When we sign off, we'll capture the chat so that we can capture any questions. Like there's a question I'm looking at. Does DKA do pricing proposals? We got that one. So yeah, if there's any questions we missed, we'll capture them in the chat and for sure make sure we get you to the right person who can answer those questions.
Because we definitely want to get everyone to the right person so that you all have all of your answers to all of your questions. Again, our partners are phenomenal. They're always here, willing and able to assist you. And so
I found another, it's kind of unwieldy because every time I go to the question, a new message comes and it deletes it. So I'm trying my best.
And again, this is the platform for those questions. So if you have any questions, you have these business leaders who are definitely familiar with this federal space, and a good 50% of you are trying to get into this space. So again, if you have any questions, you will have their contact information. Again, as Sally mentioned, drop your questions in the chat or the Q&A, and we will make sure that we
not the
will
chat, the Q&A for sure. So how do you find that if you're confused? Just click. You see the mute button at the bottom of your screen. You see stop video. You see participants 207. Then it says Q&A, and you just open that up and put your question in there.
Great. And so a little bit more here with ISI Federal, we do what's called interagency briefings. And we have several partners such as Moonstone, SSI, iLab, at iAdvantage Software, and NVIT. They are subject matter experts, so they educate the customers. So with these interagency briefings, the customers are the agencies, the federal agencies. And so if you are a subject matter expert and you would like to host an interagency briefing, definitely reach out to us here at ISI Federal, and we can definitely help you facilitate that. On the industry side, guess what? You see Greg there, and you see Dave. In September, we helped a lot of small businesses, with those last minute federal contracts, win last minute year-end contracts, winning last minute sole source contracts, P-card and micro purchase contracts, and so many more. And Greg did a whole session on responding to RFPs and contracts in those last, 2 weeks?
Yep.
It was crazy.
It certainly was. It certainly was.
And we actually had someone who was on that. She was on 2 of these briefings, and she actually reached out to us, and she said that she took all of the advice that she learned during those briefings. She won 2 federal contracts.
Outstanding.
And I think the last one came in on a Sunday at 11 p.m. So she was checking her emails around the clock. She had sent in a proposal, and they reached out to her on a Sunday. So it happens, it can happen, but you definitely have to position yourself to monitor those opportunities. And that's what we do with our SAM.bid. SAM.bid helps you monitor SAM.gov, by NAICS codes, by PSC, and by keyword and activities. And with SAM.bid, where else can you find someone's email and, and give them a call? So, and how do you develop that relationship? You can do that with SAM.bid. It helps you monitor SAM.gov. So we're going to try another poll. This one is, what is one federal relationship worth to you? Let's see.
Good job. Terry, you're doing a great job.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. I just have to give a shout out to Terry. This is her first ISI doing all on her own. I think she's doing a phenomenal job. I think we definitely want you to run these again.
Oh, no, thank you.
There we go. What is one?
There you go. So what's interesting is, what is one federal relationship worth? The answer's coming in. I think right now we're kind of tied between 50,000 to 100,000 and 250,000 to 500,000. Peter, Sean, Greg, and Sally, is that possible?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's definitely possible.
Nice.
I'm answering the question over here, so I'm not paying attention.
Definitely
Great.
possible.
All right. Perfect. And we're going to stop this sharing here. Let's see. Uh-oh, sorry.
That's all right.
All righty.
And to everyone who's asking the questions, yes, this recording will be available. Yes, we are saving the chat. And yes, we'll provide you with how to contact individuals. So
Yes.
chat, but be assured, Terry and the wonderful team at ISI has a record of everyone here today.
Yep.
So make sure we get that back out. Go ahead, Terry.
Great, thanks. So just a little bit more about that federal marketing space. Dave is really good in sharing with you when business development happens, or when, as small businesses, we need to be doing that business development. We are here, today's date is October 12th. We're 12 days into the 2022 $3.5 trillion fiscal year. And during this time, you should be doing that business development from October till about January. And then, and you see February, March, that's when they are going to start buying again. And so, and then, when it dies down, say mid-March, then, don't wait, until later in the year to do your business development. Make sure that you're doing that business development, from March all the way up until July, because as the end of the fiscal year hits, come July, August, and September, as we saw just a few weeks ago, it's going to be a spending frenzy. Every cent of that $3.5 trillion budget has to be spent. And that's how winners win. They are doing that business development throughout the year. So they are introducing themselves. They are working up proposals. They're following up to their proposals. They are reaching out. They're being a resource. They're following up. They're educating the customer, i.e. the agencies. They're following up. They're providing scopes of work. Guess what? They're following up. Every stage of the process, you have to follow up and respond to those proposals. Greg, would you like to shed a little insight into that?
You'll have to ask the question again, because I was still over here answering
Okay,
questions.
sorry. The importance of following up and responding to those proposals.
So yeah, you have to. I mean, it's just like if you're, when you're 16, you send out job applications. You got to follow up. There's no reason not to. You want to make sure that any opportunity that you have to communicate with the potential customer and get a dialogue going, develop a rapport and a relationship. Take every one of those opportunities seriously.
Adding to
Right.
what Greg said, that goes for following up on anything. I did a presentation a couple of years ago, and there's sort of the 5-minute rule. And if you, in 5 minutes, follow up with the person you met, whether it's on LinkedIn or a text, or you send them an email, the probability of you ending up doing business with them exponentially increases, which means for every 5 minutes you don't, it decreases. And it's fascinating on lead statistics in that follow-up category. So.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And so, and you wonder how people that win those federal contracts win, and again, it's because they are doing it year round. It's one thing again to put a couple of proposals, respond to a couple of them, send your proposals in, but are you really doing it every single month or every single week throughout the year? And again, that's how they're winning. And we want you to win as well. We want you to gear up and disrupt the pattern in 2022. And again, Dave shared this example last month. It's like, you're doing that business development effort. Don't give up while you're doing it. You will eventually have a breakout, and then you will start hitting those contracts. Is that right, Sally?
That's absolutely correct. Correct. And in the chat, there's which one of you helps with the follow-up on BD? If you mean business development, and there's different, if you're looking for support services to help follow up, there's definitely people we can connect you to. If you're looking for marketing automation, I'm helping a client right now, and you don't have to be a billion-dollar company to do marketing automation. You can create through Zoho, Salesforce.com, HubSpot, all kinds of different CRMs, marketing automation that helps you track and follow up on those leads and nurture those that aren't quite qualified yet. So it's very important that you use automation in your follow-up, because as you grow, there's no way that you can get enough people to help follow up on all the incoming leads that you're going to generate, either by doing a Gov brief with ISI, or doing some search engine optimization where you're doing organic reach where people can, when they Google, you come up, etc. So having a follow-up sales process lead conversion funnel to revenue is very important and crucial. And I'm happy to share my thoughts on that. I'll put my, I'll put my Calendly in there and give you some ideas on that.
Great. Thank you, Sally. And, it's like how losers lose, they don't do any business development. They're not making sales. So if you're not doing any business development, you're not making any sales. And Dave likes to share this, it's like, I think this is that old E-Trade commercial from several years ago. I have no sales. This is my shock face. We don't want this for you in 2022. We want you to win. So again, for 2022, let us please help you to break, through and win those federal contracts. So again, we are already 2 weeks into the new fiscal year. And again, the goal is to disrupt the status quo. And why should they let you in? Because you deserve to be let in. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So another poll, if you could just drop it in the chat. I need professional help. You've met Sally, you've met Greg, you've met Peter, and you've met Sean. If you need professional help from any of them, please drop it in the chat, and we will definitely make sure that we get their contact information to you all.
I just want to give another service that I'm always really impressed, because ISI, they're so all about helping, but they don't really promote and sell, and it's really refreshing. But I'm going to promote. They have a service where they allow you to figure out who your competitors are. Yeah. And there's nothing more valuable than to see who's winning awards in your space, because then you can contact that program manager and see how you can sort of shark them, see if they're willing to look at your company, et cetera. Or if it's a large prime and they're winning, billions of dollars worth of contracts, then you can become a sub to the prime, which is really important. And those primes are looking for companies like ours, small businesses, small minority owned, small businesses who can assist them win those things.
Yep. Okay, and that's exactly what our SAM.bid does. If you put your contact information, we can have Zachary reach out to you all, and he can actually kind of give you a demo of what that service looks like. It is phenomenal. I was kind of like helping on the front end, but I've seen a little bit on the back end, and the feedback that we're getting from our clients is great. I mean, the email confirmations, and just to know who is winning a contract in your space, Sally, like you said, that is valuable information.
Good. And the other thing that they provided several of Echo Wolf clients is I have some clients that are really focused regionally. And so we can get on a call with ISI and they can help us look at place of performance. I have a client in Naperville that's a janitorial service. And so they wanted to isolate everyone in Naperville who has won awards, who might be banks in their area. And ISI can really create some really specific lists that you can download and upload to your CRM. And those are very reasonable. I mean, we're talking, north of a couple $100 if you're not ready to go with the whole on campaign. And so they sort of have something for everyone to assist.
Definitely. And then we also do email campaigns for companies as well, where we research your NAICS codes, the keywords, and we find those federal buyers and do email introduction campaigns on behalf of your company. We can schedule the follow-up meetings. We can schedule the meetings on your behalf. You get meetings and you remember. We get your company information in front of those buyers. And again, we just talked a little bit about SAM.bid. Again, this helps you to get that information on who's winning those contracts. So again, definitely get in contact with us, and then we can get you connected with Zachary, and he can kind of give you a demo of that as well.
And Terry, I know we have about 10 minutes left and we want to be respectful of time. Do we have a slide, and don't mean to throw you under the bus there, but do we have a slide that shows all the Gov briefs coming up? I know that we have a really excellent one on grant writing. We have one of our wonderful partners who'll be showing you how to get grants and looking at government grants, because they are available in both research, et cetera. And we have that as well. And then Terry, as far as do you know the process we're doing to give people the recording of today? Do we? Okay, good.
Yes.
Asking us.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. So if you weren't on at the very beginning of the briefing, since I'm the content person, guess what? I'm going to email to you all a copy of the presentation, all 3 of the handouts, and you will receive this video. And then with the video, of course, you will see each one of our partners' contact information in there as well. So you should receive it by the end of the day. Sally, to answer your question, at 7 a.m. this morning, an email was sent out with all of our upcoming briefings for the next 4 or 5 weeks. If you did not receive that, please put your name and email in the chat, and I will personally send you that email as well. Or to see a list of all of our upcoming briefings, if you can go to govbrief.us to the events page, and then you will see all of those as well, where you can read about them and then register. And the one that Sally mentioned is on there as well.
Can I just put that in the chat?
Perfect.
And then for those of you who don't have the 3 dots to say the chat, don't worry. I'm saving the chat, and and Terry has it as well. And so in addition, we can send the save chat out, because that sometimes is nice to look at the entire chat. So
great. And just as a reminder, don't forget, we only, we have 381 days, and the next 381 days, $3.5 million. So, and again,
trillion,
353. Dave always goes into the first 2 weeks of the next fiscal year. So really it's 353. So I guess we have about 10 minutes left. And I definitely want to make sure that we get to any more questions that may be in the Q&A in the chat before
I'm trying to get through them, but feel free to knock any others off that you'd like.
Okay. Sally, do you see any more in the chat?
I see one, quite a hard question to explain in text. No problem. Mark, you can reach out and we can talk to you about that in a Calendly. While I'm doing that, Terry, do you want to put Zachary's Calendly in the chat?
Yes, I can do that. Or I can send his Calendly will actually be a part of the recap. Perfect. Yes.
Is there any online way to identify contracting officers and command at bases around the country? I believe the answer is yes, but Terry, we'd have to do a search and see if that is a yes.
Right, and we can have our research team look into that.
Sure.
Meredith Isola says, do you have any recommendations for how to compete against the big contractors who are all over the government? How do you compete when they're contractors who have long-standing relationships with these agencies? I mean, that's part of your bid no bid process. Whatever you can find out, not just evaluating the solicitation itself, but if there's a current contract in place for those services, who's doing it? How long have they been on that contract? Did they just win the 5-year contract every 5 years, and they have been for the last 30 years? That's gonna go into your your bid no bid decision. And if that's the case, that's obviously one you're probably going to want to pass on because they're entrenched. But and also in the solicitation itself, when you read the past performance requirements, that can sometimes shed light on how the agency feels about the current contractor. If it's very strict past performance and you have to have a lot of things that probably the incumbent's the only one that has that might tell you that's something else to pass on. But if they're very open and they're just saying whatever you've done, just let's see what you've done and that you've made your customer happy, that might be an indication that they're open to a new provider. So that's all part of all of the information that's going to go into your decision on whether or not to pursue a contract.
Excellent points, Greg. Thank you. There's a question. How do you get training on business development? And Terry, let you and I talk to Dave after. I think this is a great idea. I've received this before. I mean, you and I can't possibly talk to 180 people if they're interested in biz dev. So why don't you talk to Dave about you and I and Dave doing a special Gov brief on biz dev?
Okay, sounds good. And I'm sure he will definitely
Olivia.
be down for that.
Yeah, thanks, Olivia. And we'd love to do that. That would be great.
And, and the other thing too about that, if you have any ideas, especially as, as small business owners trying to break into that federal space or business owners trying to break into that federal space, visit our govbrief.us events page. If you see topics there that are helpful, great. If you see some, if you're looking for some that we don't have, we will definitely take any recommendations that you have because we are here to help you get into this space.
Exactly. Like I hadn't thought of doing a biz dev training, but what a great idea, Olivia. And so, yeah, so with about 9:52, any other topics to discuss? And again, wonderful, Terry, nice job, well done, thanks. Peter, John, Sean, Greg, any of the presenters have anything more they would like to share, offer in our final moments together?
Yeah, so Dave insists on using that picture that was 10 years ago, and I was 20 pounds heavier.
Look like Breaking Bad, Greg.
I broke bad in that point in my life, yeah. So, yeah, we help companies identify opportunities and evaluate them to see which ones are a good fit for your experience and capabilities. And when it is, we can help you put your proposal together. We can also help companies get on the GSA schedule. And if you're already on the schedule, we can help you maintain it as far as adding new offerings, getting rid of discontinued offerings, adding new SINs, anything to do with the schedule. So I'll be contacting many of you once this is over.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Right. And Peter will contact, Sally White, I think I mentioned, Connector, helping you get your digital footprint, beautiful business development processes, etc. And I would love to connect with you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sally. And then Peter, sir.
Yes, if anybody would like a financial checkup so you can be prepared to flex your financial muscles when it comes time to bidding on a contract, be willing to help and look at everybody's situation. So we invite everybody to contact us as far as a financial checkup.
And I put Peter's Calendly in the chat again, so you can just reach out and you'll see Peter's schedule and you can schedule a little Zoom with Peter.
Perfect. And Sean.
It's what I touched upon earlier. I think the single biggest important thing, particularly for small firms, is please have documents reviewed before signing them. One stroke of the pen could really impact you. And then in terms of protesting and things like that, things move really fast. Deadlines are really sharp. So if you think you want to do something like that, just give me a call or email, and I can make sure it gets fast forwarded and we get you an answer on whether or not you should move forward or not.
Perfect. Excellent advice. All right. So are there any other questions in the chat or in the Q&A?
Not seeing any. I just want to reiterate, even though we're going to send the chat, if you want to get it immediately, like I always do, you simply go to the bottom of your chat screen where it says everyone. To the right, there's like a little piece of paper. There's a smiley and there's 3 dots. You click on the 3 dots. You click Save Chat. It says Show in Folder. You then open the folder, you double click, and you have the entire chat. And if you aren't able to do that, like if you're on a mobile device, don't worry, we'll make sure you get a copy of the chat. I'm saving it right now. I'm sending it to Terry, so we're double set and making sure we get everybody the chat and the recording. and the slides and the deck and everything you need. So it's been a pleasure today. I wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful week, and it's such an honor to be part of this group.
Thanks, everyone. And we look forward to seeing you again on November 9th. And don't forget, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Terry, don't sign off yet, Terry. Stay with me.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure we've captured everything.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome, Matt. Thank you so much. Thanks, Amber, for the shout out. Very nice. We're watching our attendees drop down. Yeah, we got to like 250. I think 260 was the number.
Yeah, I saw that.
Great. So do you need to save the chat right now, or does it automatically save?
I think it automatically saves.
Let me show you how, just in case. I just pasted mine, but in the unlikely event, scroll down in your 3 dots,
Yep.
click on the dots, click on save chat, and then show in folder. Then it's
Yeah,
like,
see, I'm not seeing that on my end.
I got it.
Okay,
I'm gonna
perfect.
send you an email with the notes.
Okay,
Thank you, Patty. Thanks so much for information. We got your email. We got everybody. I'm
We
just
got
gonna wait.
everybody?
We still have 51 people, and I just want to make sure I get everyone before you sign off.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure.
Dave's like, love you, bye.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we get all of the questions. Okay. Oh, Ron Sutton said that he uses SAM.bid, beta.sam and GSA to find opportunities
Nice. Thanks, Matt.
at a local base. Sweet. And they would be, okay.
And then the
got-
questions, do you have the poll questions for those we didn't answer? Can you get those?
Yes, I believe I can get those.
Make sure, because Elizabeth Fry, we're a management company. Thanks, Peter and Sean. Great job. Does it cost to get a contract? Just want to make sure that all the questions are saved. There were 21 open questions and 9 answered.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to include these.
So you can see where it's all, it's still being recorded now, but the questions are recorded, right? They're,
Yes.
okay, you have a way to capture those.
Yeah.
There's 40 people on.
Great.
Any-
And I like the idea of the business development seminar.
Yes,
That would be great.
Oh, Olivia, you and I can put something together and we can talk about, everywhere from, we can actually show the wheels, I've been creating the ecosystem where it shows all the things you do in biz dev. There's so many different aspects, and you have to pick one of them, so we can create that.
Okay.
Please
Perfect.
email the chat to got@infosmart. We'll definitely do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Perfect.
just do one more chat capture.
Okay. And I'm going to do it here on my end.
Chat. Showing.
Yeah, I had to get out of full screen mode. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Chat. I did
Yeah,
my
what I'm
first-
going to do is just actually include the chat in the recap.
Perfect, brilliant. I love it.
You're welcome, Roya. I think that'll be easier for everybody.
Yeah, it'll be good. You can tell that Terry and I are like super detail oriented. I make sure we get everything we promise.
All right. So do you have it saved?
Yep, you're good. You're good job.
All
Okay.
right.
Thanks, everybody. The 36 people, you're going to get cut off. Thank you. Nice to meet all of you. Thanks, Terry. Good job.
Thanks. And I will, if you're still on, I will include the chat. Bye-bye.